I'm so glad you're here. I'm Marietta, and today we will start a new series. I promised to do some only basegame builds for you, so now's the time to rebuild Newcrest with this restriction.
I stared at the map for a while and inspected the lots to come up with some strategy, and we will do the following. The first neighborhood in this town lays where the Bridge Street and the Park Street are crossing. Yes, I made up these names, guided by the environment. These three lots will be residential, and here we will have a lounge and a park. I wanted a cafe, but sadly basegame doesn't have one. We will build on this lot today. Since the parcels in Bridgeview are the cheapest, I assumed the houses would be simpler too. Nothing fancy, just reasonably priced regular homes for regular families. The layout will look like this. To avoid making boring buildings, I want to try to do something interesting with the roof. Make a small slope here that will be curved and connected to the ground. I think that a thicker trim will help it look more finished. I can't decide on the paint, so I quickly pick grey for now. Once we are happy with the shape and all, it's best to just duplicate the roofing and reuse the same one so each part will line up together. I'm experimenting with roof pieces because my goal today is to build a starter tiny house that is less than 100 tiles and under 20k, and we do not have that many options in the game that make it less plain and would be also cheap. And as we all know, roofing is luckily totally free, so we should definitely give it a try and play around with it. I'm deleting these walls so we can extend the roof over this area and make it glass. If you hold down Shift while moving the little arrow, it will affect only one side of the overhang. And let me show you something. If you copy the roof piece, line it up nicely, cover it with glass, you can see through it, but it creates a wall inside that separates the glass room from the rest of the house. Good if you don't mind to connect them with the door, but I want to have it open. So I lower the roof piece, make it as small as possible, hide it, and then extend the overhang on this side. Don't pull up the roof itself, just the upper overhang with the same method. I needed to push it back one tile so it will line up nicely. I know it sounds complicated, but definitely doable.
You can probably see that it changed a bit, but it just confirms that this process needs a bit of fiddling. But I'm sure that everyone can do it. Back to the build?
Let's talk about the owner of this house, shall we? Despite the unusual roof, the light-colored brick combined with classic white siding gives the impression of a traditional small-town home. I wouldn't give it to an elder couple though, because while the porch is easily accessible just one step up, I embrace the idea of platforms and use them to separate the bedroom from the rest of the house. As an elder, I won't appreciate the need to climb a ladder so I can go to bed. And the back porch could be accessible from the lifted area and work like a terrace. I just need to raise the walls for the door. I know it's small, but a multi-level terrace is something that can light up a place if you have only base game available. I want to use a few bushes from the debug menu. And it seems like we are unlucky. The column does not work well with stairs. I have to leave a gap between them. I don't know why, but this house reminds me of the 90s. So we know that some young people are living here, someone with a tight budget and limited options. I want to use lighter color wood on the floors and keep the light grey walls so they can have a bright and sunny place. I must admit that the lighting is pretty strange here because of the glass, and I already tried all parts of the day, but I will power through. with some IKEA-looking kitchen set. It's so strange to see only a few options for fridges, for example. I like the accent wall here. It was kind of necessary because it is a roof piece and can be painted separately in and out. And I want to spice up the basic looking bed with some bookshelves behind it. There's not that much to say about the boring dining room, but my plan is to make it better with plants. Plants always make every room look better, don't they? But sometimes it's harder to choose. I imagine that since we are using really basic looking furniture, it could be someone's first home that they just bought and they were glad that they didn't need to use beat up things from their parents' basement, since we don't have the basement kit available now. We can't forget about the entrance. I love to use kitchen cabinets as hall furniture because you can put things on them with move objects on, and Sims won't leave their dirty plates on it. Place to sit down and hang your coats on the other side. And all there's left is the back porch. We don't have a dedicated living room at the end, so a bench outside will fulfill this function. It will have to. Some last finishing touches. And here we are. The studio-like base game only house on Bridge Street 5 is ready. Let's check the interior with the first-person camera. I tried to find some decorations, and I thought a simple, trying to be funny word explanation in a black frame would be fitting. We have these pictures from the gallery, which are not CC, as you probably already know, by BB104. I would say that a young man right out of college bought this house, furnished it, and then asked his girlfriend to help with decorating it so it would be more homey. That's how the plants got inside. But I'm not really sure who bought the pictures. You know what? We all like some lore in our game, so I will create this couple for you and make a short out of it. Make sure to check it out. You can download this house or the couple later from the gallery. My ID is Rietta R.
I'm happy we did it. Feel free to leave a like, comment and subscribe to my channel to show appreciation. It will make my day better. Next time we will continue with the Zodiac challenge. If you haven't seen the videos already, go check them out now. Thank you for hanging out with me, take care, and as always, be nice and kind to each other. Bye!